it makes me cynical to watch the stories that you guys are uncovering. The levels of corruption within his family and that administration are exponentially beyond anything that I think we have ever experienced in our lifetime.
Does anyone actually think that Watergate, just look at the spirit of it, Watergate is a greater example of corruption than the IRS under Barack Obama targeting political opposition? The worst corruption, Watergate and Trump Truth Social? Kaitlan Collins was on The Daily Show last night, and Jon Stewart, okay. Jon Stewart has become far more of an activist than he even used to be.
Yeah.
He's one of the best to ever do it. I will say that he is decreasingly funny. This is case in point. It's time for media malpractice. Now, I'll tell you why this interview doesn't work. It doesn't work because Jon Stewart, his job is to be funny, and he is doing some bits, right? And he's trying to kind of keep it light. Unfortunately, Kaitlan Collins is still trying to keep the facade alive that she's an objective journalist. So she just stonewalls him, and it gets increasingly uncomfortable as Stewart tries to get her to crap on Trump because, you know, behind closed doors, she does.
There are times when I watch him, and I think to myself, this can't be real. Like, this can't be America. In the room that night,
that's how he felt during COVID.
Did it feel surreal? Was he bombing as hard as it appeared on the TV? You said to him, this guy admitted to his crimes. Trump said to you, you don't know much about crypto. You know nothing about nothing. You're fake news.
But he didn't answer the question.
No.
And then he said he didn't really know who the person was.
You are very straightforward with him. You don't play coy, you don't frame it.
No, I'm a straight shooter.
And he just...
Don't frame it in some gotcha ways.
You're a terrible person. You're a stupid person. You don't smile. When that's done, is there an office of, like, smoothing things out that comes to your office and says, like in a bar when your friend gets in a fight, like, hey, man, he's drunk. Like, I'm so sorry.
It's because I want anyone to be able to listen to what I'm asking, whether that's at a briefing or during a moment with the president, and think, you know, I want to know the answer to that, too.
The answer is very clearly, you should smile more.
It's hard to smile when you have no upper lip.
I have no upper lip. Chill out.
Yeah, but you don't have hairy forearms.
This is just a chance for you to kind of play his game. He's so concerned about appearances, so play in that arena. All right, so you're Donald Trump. Call on me, Kaitlan Collins.
She doesn't like that.
She's like,
I'm Kaitlan Collins.
You look pretty today. The big beautiful bill took 1 million children off of food assistance.
Even I know that's
Why
bullshit.
are your hands so up?
That look was, the producers didn't tell me this was going to happen.
I didn't say it would work.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about because I'm pretty much an objective journalist.
All right. Now, it's uncomfortable because she's stonewalling. Remember on Stephen Colbert where
yeah,
I know you're straight, you're a straight shooter. It's completely objective CNN, and then the audience laughs. She's like, are they supposed to be laughing like that? It's because no one actually takes CNN seriously. It's like she didn't get the memo and he didn't get the memo. And then he just rattles, and I get it, he's a comedian, so I have more grace. But he just rattles off, straw man after straw man where he tries to get into corruption. So here's one right here where he tries to set the stage by comparing President Trump to Watergate. And I've long maintained that Watergate isn't Watergate.
J.D. Vance said something really interesting recently. We was talking about Watergate. Mm-hmm. And he said about Watergate probably would be, now this is sort of the seminal public corruption, political corruption case of our lifetimes. I was raised on the Watergate hearings. He said it would probably be a 12-hour story now. But I think the point he was making is they've created such great defenses around public and political corruption that there's no longer, that great reporting no longer leads to accountability through the other institutions that are there to pick that up.
No, the point that he was making was actually that the media no longer has, Hollywood education, no longer has an ideological monopoly as to be able to bully anyone and misrepresent. Nixon was railroaded. Just to be clear, and by the way, there's a 3 and 3 in this. You can go download those wherever podcasts exist. 3 key facts in 3 minutes or less with all of the references. Watergate, a lot of people don't realize Watergate wasn't Watergate. So key fact 1, no one was ever charged with ordering the burglary, to be clear. Nixon resigned to avoid being impeached, but he never actually admitted guilt. There's been new information since then. And key fact here, Nixon didn't know about the break-in. He was never actually accused of ordering or knowing about the break-in. And there is audio that clearly shows us he was surprised about the break-in.
He didn't know how he handled all the dollar in Texas and so forth. Well, who is the asshole that did that? Is it Liddy? Is that the fellow? He must be a little nuts.
Liddy did this. The guy puts his hand over a candle. Bad prick.
He ate a rat.
So really, just so you know, Watergate, and we'll get to, so there have been some updates. This came from the New York Times, recently unearthed tapes or transcripts. It was people broke in to try and affect an election to help Nixon win who weren't actually associated with him in these actions, and it didn't affect the election anyway. And then Nixon said, oh my gosh, people are going to think I had something to do with this, so he tried to keep it quiet. That's the corruption. And that's turned into Nixon wiretap. You have a lot of people who believe that, but you also have people who believe that Kyle Rittenhouse went out and shot black people as opposed to registered pedophiles. Here's another clip of Stewart opining on Nixon.
He also said the deep state took down Richard Nixon, which I think Richard Nixon took down Richard Nixon. But to your point, it wasn't just...
It absolutely was the deep state, according to the New York Times.
It wasn't just the reporting that led to Nixon's resignation. It was Republicans in the Senate who made clear that he had crossed a line with them
after the
as
reporting.
that investigation into his actions was proceeding.
And a legal system that held people accountable for break-ins and obstruction and cover-ups. And even Spiro Agnew, people forget Spiro Agnew, who was the vice president at the time, resigned months before Watergate took down Nixon on a bribery scandal.
And here's the thing, they just say, oh, it wasn't the deep state, it was Nixon who took down Nixon. See, even Republicans in the Senate. Yeah, at that point, he had been damaged because of the leftist media and the hit job. Also, by the way, a lot of Republicans who were on board with the military-industrial complex, right? The same industrial complex you love to malign, and rightfully so. There was a military spying scandal against him. This should have been the biggest story from February this year, New York Times. It was well known, it's been documented, that there were those who were very pro-military, who were very pro-war, those in the Pentagon, who absolutely targeted Nixon and were spying on him. Nixon knew it, but he chose to protect wartime secrets and the military's reputation instead, because he said, this will blow back on the troops on the ground, and Americans will forever lose trust in their institution and their government if they knew about, quote unquote, the deep state effectively. He was the first target that they successfully eliminated. And he said, you know what? I don't want Americans to become a nation of cynics. And so for the good of the country, he resigned and he kept quiet. This is all documented. You can go check the link right in the description, New York Times. It's something that people, you know why people don't talk? Well, because the story's passed. There's nothing to gain from it. Doesn't mean that Nixon was a flawless president at all. I'm just saying that Watergate is not what you've been told. Here you go. Stewart sort of parlays that from Nixon, awful corruption, misrepresenting it, to we're now witnessing the worst corruption of our lifetime. And of course, it's selective bias.
It makes me cynical to watch the stories that you guys are uncovering about a Qatari jet that's, millions and millions of dollars by a foreign government that's not safe enough for the president to fly on it. And also the guy who is the envoy to that region is getting money from that area while also trying to negotiate peace deals from within those. The levels of corruption within his family and that administration are exponentially beyond anything that I think we have ever experienced in our lifetime. And
Really?
I keep waiting for the other institutions to wake up. And they feel like they're gone. Like there is no there would never be an impeachment on this. And the legal
Do you mean
system
the
seems
uncorrupted
utterly,
institutions like
not
the
only are they
FBI
not
who
interested
falsely
in
claimed that Hunter
prosecuting,
Biden
they're
laptop
more
story was
interested
disinformation?
in redefining what corruption means to allow more of it.
Yeah, I think Jon Stewart, and this is the problem, right? It's one thing to just focus on comedy. Right there, he's making a point, and his point is verifiably wrong. Now, what did we say when we were live on air when the Qatari jet thing broke?
Yeah.
We said, oh, that's not good.
We don't like that. I don't like the crypto stuff because
True
it
Social
seems kind of like a scam. The True Social stuff, it's valued at like $1 billion. It only has like $37 million in revenue. There's a ton there to be like, yeah, that's not good.
Right.
At all.
Some things are out of your control.
Nope. Just trying to help out. I'm good. It's a nice suit.
You too.
Thank you. Do you have a dollar?
Take control of your money as easily as possible with Rumble Wallet. Download it today at wallet.rumble.com/Crowder. But we also need to wait. The worst corruption of our lifetime,
Who's
I
at the
guess.
table for that?
And if you're going to do it, just acknowledge all of it. For example, the new audio today from Joe Biden admitting to mishandling, by definition, classified material. New audio today.
This was a big meeting, the CIA and everyone on, it was
that a July meeting?
Sharp as a
no,
tack.
it looks like it is.
That's
It
2017, guys.
says changed pens.
Insane.
So it's got
That
to
he
be
became
after
president.
the 17th of June. And then it's a long meeting where DOD brief at DOD POTUS Air Force 2, 2:30 p.m. There was a big meeting down in the Situation Room. It would have been. Some of this may be classified, so be careful with it. I'm not sure. It's not more classified.
No one saw any signs of his decline until well into his term, by the way.
Found all the classified stuff downstairs. I wrote the president a handwritten 40-page memorandum.
Which I guarantee you he didn't read.
Didn't write 40 pages. Come on.
I hand wrote 40 pages. I said, you read this, Barack. You read it, sucker.
He can't sign his name, auto pen.
So
articulate, I know.
you got that, not to mention the many, many, many millions of dollars that Joe Biden made only once he had achieved higher office. This is the worst corruption of our lifetime. Millions in profit for his son, the known crackhead from Burisma, China. You want to talk about Barack Obama spying on Trump's campaign? Confirmed. Fast and the Furious scandal, the IRS scandal, targeting political opposition, Benghazi. You want to go? Hey, I want to go to Al Gore, worth a few $1,000s, now worth close to $500 million post vice presidency. The list goes on and on. Donald Trump lost by the most conservative accounts, $600 million his first term. Remember when the left was celebrating he was worth $3 billion less? Right? So, like, he lost a lot. It's a rounding error for a billionaire. It's a different scale. Now, it doesn't mean that a jet is a good thing to accept.
Yeah.
But to say this is the worst corruption, well, he would have to put blinders on the same way he would have to say that Watergate was more corrupt. Does anyone actually think that Watergate, just look at the spirit of it, Watergate is a greater example of corruption than the IRS under Barack Obama targeting political opposition?
Right.
Barack Obama they knowingly spied on Trump's campaign.
That's way worse.
Think about that. Like it's right there, direct apples to apples. Which is worse? The Obama administration, his people working in his government, spying on Trump's campaign, lying about it, and we find out, or Nixon having nothing to do with it, finding out and saying, "Oh my gosh, people are gonna try and pin this on me." Can you just keep it quiet? The worst corruption, Watergate and Trump Truth Social, that's the issue. By the way, what I think we're seeing, and Kalshi is reflecting this, the betting odds, that strong chance Jon Stewart may run for the Democratic nominee for president. There's a 17% chance. It just went up.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, 17% chance. I don't know.
It'd be fun debates.
It would be
Tim
fun.
Walz has got a 12% chance.
Well, he needs a new job, but that's hilarious.
How the hell did Barack Obama get back on the list?
I mean, he's always.
I think we have issues with this, right?
Kamala Harris, nowhere to be found.
Yeah, she's still trying to run. Yeah.
Now let's look again. Let's continue on this path of just the selective bias. Here's Stewart now using Epstein as an example of corruption. Also keep in mind that Jon Stewart did not mention Epstein at all. We've looked through all the records, unless I'm wrong, and if he did, it's very much buried there. Never mentioned Epstein until July of 2025, but now it really is his pet cause play.
The reporting aspect of it, is there a sense of, is anyone going to follow up on this? The Epstein stuff is a great example.
Well, I think for reporters, I mean, from
It is
our
a great
perspective,
example for you to feign outrage
we can just do
now.
our jobs, which is fair reporting, tough reporting, and good questions and fair questions. I think in terms of the Epstein example, that is something that there was a wealth of really good reporting on, including from those reporters from the Wall Street Journal who were on stage on Friday night.
Right.
But also, I mean, there was a long shot bid in Congress to release the files when the Justice Department did not do so. And it became not a long shot bid, and it actually happened. And so there have been moments where that does happen.
But now they've withheld 3 million of those documents. The woman that was in prison got an upgrade. Nobody else has gone to jail. People always ask me, what have been some of the frustrations? And I always say that it's cathartic but impotent. And I can accept that from what I do, because it's satire.
Now do me, John.
I feel like what you guys do deserves better than that. And I wonder if that ever crosses or you've just got to focus.
My unibrow.
I think your job as a reporter is to report and to inform the American public and to ask tough questions.
Why are you so mature? Why are you like...
But really,
Oh, believe me, I can be a freak.
Listen, she's not Jake Tapper, but she will go and hide behind this. I've asked some difficult questions of Trump. Maybe they weren't fair, but I never pressed anybody in the Biden administration.
There's no
like
record of them ever asking Biden about Epstein. None whatsoever. Remember, you can go back and watch. We recreated the cell down to the millimeter. I absolutely don't think that Epstein killed himself the way that we were told. I also think it's important to separate the myth from the lore, because now it's just become a cottage industry. But we were on Epstein for a very, very long time. The media it was a blackout. It was a blackout from legacy media, to be clear. So let's just apply it equally. And here's the thing. I have told you, and I try to be very honest. That's why I provide all of the references every single day. Go check them out. Link in the description. I am not unbiased. I am not an objective journalist. Now, if I bring you something exclusive where I say, okay, our journalists have done this, yes, it's accurate, but you need to know, I have a point of view. I think I've been pretty straightforward about it. CNN is not. If you go an entire, without asking one administration about Epstein, and then you become a dog on a bone with it with Donald Trump as though it's an example of corruption, well, that shows that you are not an objective journalist. If you whitewash, cover up the very clear cognitive decline of a sitting president while making those attacks against someone else who's clearly more than sharp enough to do the job, if you base it on historical president Donald Trump, you are not an objective journalist. We're just asking that you be honest about what is right now dishonesty. It's dishonesty now. If you start being honest about your perspective, you start being honest about your bias, okay, fine, it's another opinion show. You don't want to do that because you know that no one would tune in for your opinions. No one cares about your opinions because you're uninteresting and uninformed. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, you can click around and watch one of these videos on YouTube, or head on over to Rumble and subscribe, where I am live every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Live on Rumble. YouTube is dead. Rumble did it. And on Rumble, you can say